Anyways, so it means to talk very fast or very excitedly. And sometimes whenever you're talking so fast, they don't understand what you're saying. So you're just jabbering. An example sentence I used was they jabbered away for hours and hours, meaning they talked for so long and so long. And my non-example sentence is she didn't feel well, so she decided to jabber some medicine before going to bed. Nah. You can't talk while you're taking medicines. All right. What? Has everyone signed Olivia's birthday card? Yes. All right. Thank you, Ignacio. Happy birthday, Olivia. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Olivia. Happy birthday to you. All right. Everyone take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. All right, wolf called wander. Okay. My next vocabulary word for you guys is puncture. That is a small hole that is caused by a sharp object. Are y'all done? Okay. So my example sentence is he accidentally stepped on a nail, causing a painful puncture in his foot. So a nail, it's very, very small, and it has a tiny little tip. And if you step on it, it's going to cause a small hole in your foot. And then my non-example sentence is she tried to puncture her way into the conversation. Can't puncture a conversation. Yes, Kyra. Huh?
It is reasonable because like she can create some small talk to get into the conversation.
Yes, but this is talking like this is being used as like a noun. It's like a noun. It's not a verb in this context. Okay. It's not a. Does that make sense? Our word, we're using it as a noun. Okay. All right. And then my last one is sorrow. We kind of talked about sorrow yesterday. That's what Swift is feeling with Warm passing away. And so sorrow is a strong feeling of sadness. My example sentence is I felt so much sorrow whenever my best friend moved away. And then my non-example sentence is Alex was overwhelmed with sorrow after his mom surprised him with a new puppy. No. Yes, Kyra.
Well, isn't sorrow a synonym for melancholy and sad?
I mean, yeah, it can be used. It's a synonym for sad or sadness, heartbreak, things like that. Yes, Maggie? Guilty? No, different thing. Guilty is like when you feel bad that you did something. Sorrow is when you're sad over something. Two different words. Okay? Any questions? All right. We are going to turn back to me. All right. Let's talk about some challenges that Swift has faced thus far in our story. All right. What is a challenge or something Swift has struggled with in our story? Austin? Losing Warm. So we're going to say Warm passing away. Saying he got shot, right? All right. What's another one, Timo?
His dad getting
Okay.
assassinated. Yeah.
Dad passing away. Or getting attacked.
Getting shot.
All right.
Targeted.
What is another one? Was it just his dad that got targeted? No, Ignacio?
Losing his home and family.
So losing his home and family to who? Who did he lose it to?
The Pale Wolves. Rival pack.
The rival pack or the Pale Wolves. Very good. Rival pack. pale wolves. All right. Anything else, Maggie?
Growl.
Losing Growl. Okay. So he was the kind of the watcher of them whenever they were pups. He was a part of his pack. Growl passing away. Getting attacked. Him and his dad both. It's another one. Cyrus.
Sharp joining the wolves.
Okay. Sharp joining the pale wolves. It's another one. Jayla.
I have two.
Okay.
So, him sort of like losing his home ground.
Okay, so we have that with that he lost his home. What was your other one?
My other one was, I lost it.
It's okay. Your attention should be up here. This is very, very important for our next thing that we're about to do. Okay? Very, very important. Eden? Getting injured. Very good. Getting injured by the elk. Anything else, Musa?
Disrespecting his father's pride.
Okay, so he kind of has some internal conflict.
Because he ate the snake.
Okay, I like that.
That wolves aren't supposed to eat.
I like that you're mentioning stuff that we talked about yesterday, like, because a lot of these are what type of conflict? These are external, right? Things that are happening around him in his environment. But he's also struggling with survival versus how he was raised, right? Oh, oops. What else? What else? Gretchen?
Watching the bachelor wolves get shot
Okay, that could be,
because he doesn't want to get shot.
yeah. So that kind of goes with what? Because it wasn't just Warm who was getting chased by the humans, right? Didn't Swift also have to run away from the humans?
But he said he wasn't going to call himself Swift ever again.
Well, we're calling him Swift for now.
But his name's...
We don't know. He hasn't said that his name's that. What if his name ends up being like John or something? You know? Just kidding.
John is great.
All right. What else? What else? What else? Sky? Okay. So, passing the road. So, I'm going to say falling down the hill. All right.
Following the raven. Like, because at first he didn't want to trust the raven.
Uh-huh.
The raven brought him to a dead coyote.
Uh-huh.
But then as he went along, then he started trusting the raven more.
Deciding if he can trust the raven. All right, I think that is plenty of stuff that our poor dear friend Swift has had to face. All right, these are all list of challenges that Swift has had to face so far in our story. Yes? We can tell that he is going through a lot. All right? You guys need to take a mental note of some of these challenges. All right? Because after we read our chapter for today, you are going to have a constructive response using the races strategy. Someone tell me what the R stands for in races. Dana? Restate the question. All right. What does the A mean? Ethan? Answer the question. What does C mean? Janice? Cite your evidence. When I cite evidence, does that mean I'm putting something into my own words? No. You are taking it directly from what? The passage or the text, right? So in this case, you will be taking exactly what it says from the book. All right. What does the E stand for? What does the E stand for? Camilla? Okay. Doing what with your evidence? Your cited evidence. So explaining your evidence, right? When you cite a piece of text evidence and you start to explain it, you're telling me why that evidence is important to your cited evidence, right? Like why your explanation matters, okay? So, because if you just give someone a piece of text evidence, they might not know how your piece of text evidence relates to the answer of your question. You have to explain why your text evidence matters to your answer of the question. Does that make sense? All right, and that doesn't mean just restating your answer. This proves that Swift had a really hard life. All right, we know that Swift has had a really hard life. All right, tell me why that cited evidence matters to your question or to your answer. How does it prove it? All right, not just that it proves it. This proves that Swift had a hard life because, and then you go on to explain it. All right, if you just say this proves Swift had a hard life, I'm gonna have to take points off. All right, because that's not explaining your evidence, that's just restating your answer. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe so? Give me a thumbs up if we're good on the explanation portion. I'm missing some thumbs. I'm going to assume you don't have any. Just kidding. All right, and what does the S mean in races, Ethan? Summarize. So then you wrap it up with a really, really pretty bow. In conclusion, Swift had a hard life because blah, 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 blah. Okay? All right. This is your constructive response for today after we read our chapter. All right, so be thinking about this. It says Swift has faced several challenges so far, including humans, other animals, hunger, and loneliness. Which do you think is the biggest challenge he has faced? How many examples does it tell you to give? Two. You need 2 pieces of cited text evidence. All right? So 2 sentences that have what around them? Quotation marks. Very, very good. To support your claim. So your evidence, your cited evidence, has to support your answer to this question. All right? If you say that Swift's biggest challenge was hunger, but your cited evidence is talking about the humans, does that really make sense? No. All right? Yes, Sky.
So what those say for the humans, other animals, hunger, and loneliness, do we choose from those? And
You can choose from you can even choose from this list that we made.
Okay,
All right?
I don't have to choose from that.
No, that was just giving you some more examples. Okay? Yes, Ethan.
I forgot it.
That's okay. If you remember it, you can tell me. All right. Flip to the chapter we left off on. We read Canyon yesterday. We are on almost, all right? We are on almost. Okay? Yes, Kyra.
If you notice, the moon
Mm-hmm.
is almost a new moon.
Ah, it is almost a new moon.
Waning.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I think waning.
waning gets smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Waxing gets bigger.
Yeah. All right. So we know that Swift is now starting to follow or make friends with who? The raven. All right. His raven. So let's see what happens. I'm going to pull up my book on here so you guys know where I am at. All right. Here we go. After many days of walk, trot, eat, rest, we find something completely new. My raven, flying ahead as usual, appears to sit down in midair, not soaring on rising air, not hovering, sitting in the middle of the air. I approach slowly. A raven has her tricks. But as I get closer, I see she is sitting on a thin gray line. It runs straight like the rows of the mint field, straight like the Black River. It must be a man thing. I crouch, growl, sniff. There is only a faint, long ago scent of men. I listen in every direction. Nothing. The air is still and the shadows are short. So look at the picture on the bottom. What is the raven sitting on? A fence.
Electric fence.
I don't think it's electric, but yes, Denise.
When you said
Uh-huh.
You said
I can't hear Janice's question.
You said midair. It has the morpheme.
It does have our morpheme. Good connection. All right, let's keep going. I come to the gray lines watchfully. My raven pokes at her feathers, shakes out her wings. There is no fear in her. I come closer. There are three lines of gray, low, middle, and high. Branches grow through the lines and stick into the ground. It is the oddest man thing yet. The lines catch tumbleweaves. They make a roasting spot for birds. What man would need that? There is no understanding them. When I lean against the lines, they lean but do not fall. No matter, it is easy to jump over them. I am ready to move on when I catch a whiff of something familiar. I follow the lines until I find tufts of white sheep covering. I do not need such coyote food. We ate a rabbit yesterday, and if I can find water, I might take a deer while it is drinking. But there is another smell in with the sheep, a better smell. I nose along the lines until I find a tuft of fur. It is white, but not so fluffy as sheep covering. It is true fur, long and too pale for deer or elk. Wrong smell for fox or coyote. It is not a wolf smell, but is a wolf-like smell. I have been so long away from my family, I throw my head back and howl. An answer comes, carried on the wind. It is not a howl, not a coyote's high-pitched yeep. It is a deep voice and strange to my ear. Woof, woof. I answer without thinking. Here I am. Who are you? Woof, woof, woof. The almost wolf calls back. I cannot quite catch the meaning. I call again. My tail is high in the air and wagging like a pup. I swivel my ears to pinpoint the sound. Woof, the almost wolf says. I do not care what that means. I take off running. As I draw closer, the smell becomes stronger. The confusing, almost wolf smell of it drives me wild. If only it were not mixed in with sheep smells, I could remember if I have smelled it before. As I draw close, the sheep smells grow stronger too. That could mean trouble. I slow down to make my run silent and pick my approach so the wind will not carry news of me. Ahead is a barn. My raven gives a warning caw. A noisemaker is sleeping beside the barn. I sniff for the source of the woofs. It is a she. I am nearly certain. If only there were not so many other smells to confuse me. The men's smell grows as I get closer to the barn. If there is a wolf here, or an almost wolf, I should warn her. I should take her far away, where she will be safe. Behind the barn are rows of gray lines. The almost wolf is inside the lines with a big pack of mother sheep and their pups. The almost wolf is looking right at me, whimpering and wagging. A man pup is inside the gray lines with her. It is touching the almost wolf. It is stroking her beautiful fur gently around the ears where mother used to lick me. It is not killing the almost wolf, not even trying. The man pup does not have a lightning stick. There must be some trick. It looks my way, but it does not see me in the yellow and gray of the tall grass and rocky ground. Its tiny nose does not catch my scent. The mother sheep know I'm here. They gather their pups under them and move as far from me as the gray lines will let them go. The almost wolf knows I am near too. Woof, woof, woof. She tries to howl. She lowers her tail to ask me to come closer. She woofs and wags, circles away from the gray lines and back to them. She doesn't know any wolf words yet. She doesn't know any wolf words, not yet, but her body says, come closer. It has been so long since I have had someone to speak with, to wrestle with, to run alongside. Far too long since I have had the company of another living thing curled up with me in the cold of night. She is oddly marked with white and sandy brown patches. I call to her again. The man pup jabbers like a jay to the almost wolf. It strokes her fur, and she does not flinch. I want to stroke that fur too. I want the sound of her, the smell of her, the company of her on my travels. Come away with me. Jump the lines. She throws back her head and copies my howl. But she does not seem to know the meaning. Jump, jump, it's not too high. You can do it. She copies my howl with no more understanding. The man pup pulls her away from the lines, and she obeys it. It is small. She could break away from its grasp with no effort at all. She could crush its bones in one bite, but she stays. What is the man pup? Who's he describing?
It's a child.
It's a child. Follow me, I call. I beat my front feet to the ground, laying out scent for her to follow. She wants to come. I see it in her wag, but she won't jump the lines. And then the barred door opens. My raven takes off, flying low and fast. A full-size man comes out. It has a lightning stick. I'm filled with horror. It calls to the almost wolf, and she goes to it, right up to it, lightning stick and all. I do not understand her. I want to call her away one last time, but it is not worth my life. I swallow my howl and all my loneliness with it and creep away. My scent is on the ground for the almost wolf to follow if she ever gains the courage. But for now, I am on my own, and come nightfall, even the moon is gone. So how is Swift feeling? Someone raise their hand and tell me, how is he feeling?
Sad.
Eden? He's feeling very lonely, right? He was so excited at the chance to see a wolf, but he saw a dog. All right? Yes, Gretchen?
The moon's not there anymore.
Yeah, now the moon's gone at the top.
Disappeared.
It's a new moon. All right. Here is what we are going to do.
Wait,
Here.
does every chapter happen at night?
Huh? I think it's just showing, I don't think every chapter happens at night per se, but it's just showing you the progression of time. Yes. All right. I have this wolf called Wander constructive response. All right. And it tells you what your writing prompt is up here at the top. It's that same one that I just had on the board for you guys. Okay. So Swift has faced several challenges so far, including humans, other animals, hunger, and loneliness. Which do you think is the biggest challenge he has faced? So which one do you think is the most important or the most significant, the hardest thing he's had to deal with? Yes, Ethan?
Can we pull text evidence from like the whole book? Or
Yes. So you can pull text evidence from all the chapters we have read thus far, okay?
Oh, it's easy.
So not just the one that we read, okay? It just depends. Your text evidence is going to depend on what you think Swift's biggest challenge has been so far, okay? And then you're going to give at least 2 examples from the text to support your answer, all right? So I should see 2 quotations, all right? When you cite evidence, you need to tell me what page you got that evidence from, okay? So on page 42, it says blah, 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 okay? This proves that this was Swift's biggest challenge because blah, 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 okay? Yes, Cyrus.
A wolf called Wander just say response 1. Is there going to be more than one?
Not for you to worry about right now because you got to finish response 1 when I'm done, okay? And then you have plenty of space to answer, all right? If you need to go on to the back because you need to write more, you can do that, okay? Or you can get a loose leaf piece of paper and then staple it if you want the lines. That's up to you. Well, however many, it might be longer than 5 because you have to have 2 pieces of text evidence. And you have to explain both of those pieces of text evidence, all right? So you're going to have your R, restate the question. So your question is, what do you think is the biggest challenge he has faced? I think the biggest challenge he has faced is, and then you answer it, all right? And then you're going to have 2 pieces of cited evidence, which means you should have 2 explanations, right? Right. And then you summarize it, okay? Are there any questions? All right. You can use your book. Use your book. Use your book. Use your book, okay? Huh? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Read chapter, hold on, pause. Read food first. Okay, I didn't say that. That was my fault. Hold on. Go back to your seats. Go back to your seats. Holy cow. Take a chill pill. Read, I think this is chapter 12. Read chapter 12, which is food. All right? And then answer the constructive response. I have to pass these around, so sit down. We're going to read at our desk if we can't handle reading around the room. All right, go ahead, Dana. When I tell you to, then you may move. Okay?
You move. Can you take these to the office, please? Take both of these to the office and come right back.
Yes. Huh? Yeah, do you want to stay at your desk and read? Yeah, that's fine. Nope. Stay at your seat until I tell you to move.
Does anybody have homework or fire safety village forms? Bring it now if you do. Last call and redos. Last call. Redos, homework, fire safety village.
Okay. There's some over here. All right, now you may move.